The unbelievable rejection. It was a decision that sent shockwaves through the city. A bank manager, of all people, refusing to process a woman's withdrawal. But this wasn't just any woman. She wasn't a customer like the others, desperate for cash or worried about their balance. No, she was someone who owned the very institution that had just turned her away. The woman, 42-year-old Victoria King, walked into the bank just like any other day. She was a familiar face, her presence a calm assurance of the wealth and influence she had quietly accumulated over the years. A regular at the branch, she had never once been questioned or looked at twice. But on that fateful morning, things would change. It would be a confrontation that no one, especially the bank manager, saw coming. "I need to make a withdrawal," she said coolly, approaching the counter. The bank manager, a man named Richard Lowe, looked at her with a stiff smile. "Sorry, ma'am, I can't process that request today. You'll have to come back tomorrow." Victoria's eyes narrowed, her patience thinning. "I own this bank," she responded, voice steady but laced with an edge. Lowe blinked in disbelief. "Excuse me?" Victoria repeated, her words deliberate. "I own this bank, and I want to make a withdrawal." But instead of a calm acknowledgement or an apology, Lowe scoffed. "Are you trying to play some kind of game with me? I'm not sure what you're trying to pull here, but you'll need to come back tomorrow. It's company policy." Victoria stood there, frozen in stunned silence. This wasn't supposed to happen. The confrontation was supposed to end with a polite acknowledgement and a quick transaction. Instead, her claim seemed to send Lowe into a spiral, his face turning a shade of red that bordered on panic. She knew something was terribly wrong. The next few moments felt like an eternity. Victoria's heart raced as she processed what had just transpired. It didn't make sense. She had been a prominent figure in the financial world for years. Owning this bank wasn't just a point of pride. It was the product of years of work, strategy, and careful maneuvering. So why was she being treated like an ordinary customer? It didn't add up. Victoria glanced around the bank, noting the sleek, polished surfaces and the familiarity of the employees. Everything seemed in place. Yet there was an undeniable unease in the air. The manager's behavior didn't just seem rude, it was something more. Something sinister. She had never felt so out of place in her own empire. "Are you refusing to serve me?" Victoria's voice was low, but it was now tinged with anger. This wasn't just about money, it was about respect. And about a truth that was being hidden from her, a truth she wasn't about to let slip away. Lowe stumbled over his words. "No, ma'am, I'm just saying there's a process. You can't just..." But before he could finish, the room seemed to freeze. A woman, one of the tellers, stood up and approached them. She glanced nervously at Lowe before turning to Victoria. "I need to speak with you in private," the woman said, her voice trembling. Victoria's stomach churned. Something was definitely wrong. Victoria followed the teller to a back office. The door clicked shut behind her, and the woman quickly closed the blinds. She turned to Victoria, her face pale. "I'm sorry," the teller whispered. "I don't know how to explain this, but you need to know, there's been a mistake. A huge one. Mr. Lowe, he's not who he says he is." Victoria's brows furrowed. "What are you talking about?" The teller glanced around, her voice dropping to a near whisper. "Lowe's not really the bank manager. He's been impersonating someone. And not just here. He's been running a scam, and it's going deeper than you think." Victoria took a step back. "Are you saying that the man I just spoke to, he's a fraud?" The teller nodded, her hands shaking. "Yes. But that's not all. The real manager, he disappeared months ago. We were all told he left for personal reasons, but no one's seen him since." A chill ran down Victoria's spine. Who is behind this? Who's pulling the strings? The teller hesitated. "We don't know. But something's been happening in the background, and it's much bigger than a simple fraud case. There are people in the organization who are working to undermine everything you've built. And they're not just targeting your bank, they're targeting you." Victoria's mind raced as she absorbed the gravity of what the teller had just revealed. A missing manager. A scam running deep within her empire. An unseen enemy pulling the strings. It was the kind of revelation that shattered everything she thought she knew. But the real twist? The one that no one had seen coming? Victoria, the owner of the bank, wasn't just battling a small-time con artist. She was facing an entire conspiracy within her own organization, one that threatened everything she had worked for. A betrayal from the very people she had trusted. Who else is involved? Victoria demanded, her voice a controlled fury. Who's trying to destroy me? The teller's eyes widened. I'm not sure. But I do know one thing for sure. Victoria leaned in closer, her breath steady but her heart pounding. Whatever's happening, the teller whispered, it's going to get worse. Much worse. Victoria stood there, every instinct telling her that this was just the beginning of a fight she hadn't seen coming. A fight for her empire. A fight for her legacy. And the question was, who would make it out alive? Victoria King stood frozen, her mind swirling with questions. Her own bank, the one she had built from the ground up, was now the center of a dangerous game. But what kind of game? And who was playing it? The teller's face was pale, eyes wide with fear. You have to act fast. They're watching you. Every move you make from now on could be your last. Victoria's pulse raced, but she forced herself to stay calm. Who's behind this? She asked, voice cold, calculated. I don't know all the details, the teller stammered. But there's talk. Big talk. They've infiltrated every level of the organization. You're the target, Victoria. Your bank is just the stepping stone. They want you out of the picture. They want control. Victoria's grip on the edge of the desk tightened. She had always known the business world was ruthless, but this was something else entirely. The weight of the betrayal crushed her chest, yet there was a fire burning deep inside her. She wasn't about to let anyone take what was rightfully hers. She leaned in closer, her eyes narrowing. You know more than you're telling me. If I'm going to stop this, I need to know everything. Now. The teller hesitated, her eyes darting around the room before she whispered, there's a file. A file that contains everything. Names, transactions, meetings. All the secrets. If you get that file, you can take them down. Victoria's mind whirred. The file. A key to unraveling everything. Where is it? The teller's voice trembled. It's locked in the vault. But it's not just any vault. It's protected. You'll need a key. A special key. Victoria didn't hesitate. I'll get it. As she prepared to leave, the door to the office opened abruptly. Lowe, who Victoria now knew wasn't really the manager, was standing there, his smug smile gone, replaced by a steely look of determination. You're not going anywhere, he said, his voice low and menacing. Victoria's heart skipped a beat. This was it. The moment where everything she had worked for would either crumble or be reborn. I suggest you back off, she said, voice unwavering. You don't know who you're dealing with. Lowe chuckled darkly. Oh, I think I do. You're not the only one with power around here, Victoria. You think you can just waltz in and fix everything? The game's already over. He stepped forward, his eyes narrowing. You're too late. The deal's already been made. The bank is mine now. You've lost. Victoria's eyes flashed with recognition. This wasn't just about money. This was personal. Lowe wasn't acting alone. He had been part of a much larger scheme, one that had been quietly brewing for months, maybe even years. Victoria's mind raced as she took a step back, her hand instinctively reaching for her phone. She needed a plan. A backup. The stakes were higher than ever. But then, as if on cue, her phone buzzed. A text message. It was from her lawyer. Get out now. They've been tracking you. It's not just Lowe. There's someone much bigger pulling the strings. Someone you know. Her heart pounded in her chest. Someone she knew? The thought was a chilling realization. There was no one she trusted more than her closest allies. But what if one of them had betrayed her? Who is it? Victoria demanded, her voice almost a whisper. Lowe didn't answer immediately. Instead, he took another step forward. But just as he reached her, the room exploded with noise, a loud, sharp bang from outside. It was chaos. Victoria darted toward the door, but Lowe grabbed her arm, spinning her around. You think you can just escape? He sneered. Victoria's eyes flashed, fury burning in her chest. "I don't need to escape," she said, voice low but filled with conviction. "I'm going to destroy you. I'm going to take back everything you've stolen." Lo froze. "You have no idea what you're up against." Victoria smiled coldly. "I think I do." In one swift motion, she ripped open her jacket, revealing the hidden backup file drive strapped to her waist. It was the key to everything, the proof she needed to bring Lo down once and for all. Just as Victoria took a step back, ready to make her escape, the door flew open and two figures entered. One was a familiar face, the head of security, a man named Jonathan Taylor, who Victoria had always trusted. The other was someone she never expected to see again, her former business partner, Michael Green, the man she thought had disappeared from her life years ago. "Victoria," Michael said with a dark smile, his voice dripping with malice. "You've been outplayed. Lo and I have been working together for months. And now it's over." Victoria's heart sank. Michael, the one person she had once trusted above all others. The man who had stood by her side when she first took control of the bank. The betrayal cut deeper than anything Lo could have done. "You think you can stop me?" Victoria hissed, stepping back, her eyes now wide with fury. "You think I'll just let you walk away with everything?" Michael shrugged. "It's too late for that. The files are already being erased. The bank is already in our hands." Just as Michael turned to leave, Victoria's phone buzzed again. This time, it was a call from her lawyer. "Victoria," her lawyer's voice crackled through the speaker, "the real owner of this bank, the one who's been pulling the strings, isn't Lo. It's someone who's been playing both sides all along." But before she could hear more, the line went dead. Victoria stood there, numb, as Michael and Lo walked out, leaving her with the truth. She had been played. The true mastermind behind everything was someone she never suspected, someone who had always been in plain sight. As the weight of her downfall began to settle, one last thought crossed her mind. One final question that haunted her. Who was really behind the curtain? And with that, the story ends, but the mystery, the fight, and the real battle for justice? It's far from over.